What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I will be doing a deck profile on the Magic World Mystic Knight deck from S-BT03. Mystic Knight is a size 1 base rush deck that gains powerful abilities after gaining certain amount of power. To gain power, you need to have Sync on the field, while you cast fire-based spell to power up all cards on your field. I really enjoy this deck because it is very dynamic, you will always be doing something, and there's so many powerful spells in Magic World. And also what's unique about Mystic Knights is, apart from their playstyle, is their artwork. They feature artwork from famous studios and artists like Buddyfight, AT Factory, and Inusuki. So it's a must-have for collectors like myself. Without further ado, let's get started with the deck profile. For the buddy, I am playing Sync because he is the main engine of the deck. Basically, with him on the field, whenever you cast fire spells, all your monsters on the field gain 3k attack and 3k defense. And this ability is not once per turn, so rack up them fire spell and gain a lot of power. And also at the start of your attack phase, if this card is 12k attack or more, for this turn, all Mystic Knight on the field gains double attack. So not only itself, all your Mystic Knight, including a weapon, gains double attack. That is very powerful because most of the Mystic Knights have a lot of crit. And generally, to become 12k, you just need to cast 2 fire spells, which is very easy in the deck. So we play 4 copies of Sync because, as previously mentioned, he is the main engine of the deck. It gives all your cards double attack, and he also has 2 soul, which is really tanky, so you always want to call him in the center. And most of the time, this is the first card you always call before doing any of your shenanigans, so that all your Mystic Knights will be buffed and ready for battle. Next, we play 4 copies of Asagi. She is basically your charge and draw of the deck. When this card enters the field and you have another Mystic Knight on the field, charge 1 gauge and draw 1 card. It's not once per turn, so you can spam multiple copies so they can get the extra draw power. Then after that, replace them with more powerful units. So she's just there for the charge and draw. Next, we have 3 copies of Magic Keyboardist, Shion. He's one of the most aggressive size 1 in the deck. At the start of a battle phase, if this card is 9k attack power or more, it is a 3 crit beat stick. Its counter ability, stand a Mystic Knight with 9k attack or greater, so you can actually stand itself, or if you want, you can actually just stand your buddy Sync for whatever reason, but most of the time I actually stand him because it's a size 3, and with Sync, he's basically a double attacking monster. Now we play 3 copies of Knight. So Knight grants all Mystic Knights on your field immunity to destruction, and at the start of the battle phase, if this card is 6k or greater, all Mystic Knights on your field gains +1 critical. So that's really powerful because with Shion, he will become a 4 crit double attacker, and with the item, which cannot be nullified when attacking, it is a very devastating combo. So 3 copies. Next is 3 copies of Tech in Grey. He's one of my favorite because he basically runs through anything. When this card's on the field, you can charge 1 gauge. Then, if this card is 9k or greater power, nullify all abilities of monsters in battle with this card. Stuff like Penetrate, Counter Attack, or Soul Guard will be nullified when he's attacking. Basically, with Sync, he'll be able to destroy any tanky decks because he nullified the ability and get rid of their Soul Guard. So all the souls are rendered useless. Now, let us go through my favorite part of the deck, these spells. First, we play 4 copies of Sephiroth Lecture. It is very powerful because the reason why is it is a counter ability, so you can use it during your turn and your opponent's turn. You may only cast this card if you have casted a spell during this turn, so if you don't have any spells, please cast them before casting this, otherwise you won't be able to use it. Fortunately for us, there's a lot of counter spells in this deck, so this card is pretty much live during my turn and my opponent's turn. So its ability is look at top 2 cards of the deck, put 1 of them in your hand and rest to gauge. So it is basically a charge and draw, super consistent because instead of charging and drawing, you can choose what to charge and what to draw. So yeah, 4 copies is because it is a very live card, it is never dead in the hand. Next, some basic draw power, nice one. 3 copies, pay 1 gauge to draw 2 cards, once per turn ability. I only play 3 in the deck because you really don't want this card to clog in your hand, but nonetheless, you could play 4 because it is such a great card. One of my favorite draw engines with awesome art, 4 copies of Flames of Memory. So this card is very powerful because by paying 1 gauge and discarding 1 Magic Knight from your hand, you will be able to draw 3 cards. The reason why this card is actually excellent is because you do get some dead cards sometimes, such as the weapon. You can always discard these extra weapons which you will be able to search with the spells. You can discard them as discard fodder to draw 3 cards to basically give you a huge speed boost in your deck. So 4 copies because you really want to cast the spells, and of course with Sync you'll be able to gain extra power so that you can unlock its double attack. Now 4 copies of Droplets of Temptation. This card is very important because it is the consistency of the deck. So cards cost 1 life and 1 gauge. Put up to 1 Mystic Knight monster with Sync in its card's name, and a Mystic Knight item from the deck. So it's very useful even in the future because I'm sure Missing Knights will gain another weapon in the future, so you'll be able to search one. And also there's a new Sing on the way, so this card is very important and I would definitely want to see it in my hand. So even in the late game, you can always use this, get these 2 cards for free. Basically it's a 1 card for in exchange for 2 cards. You can always discard them for your draw spells if you don't want them as discard fodder, so it's fine. It's just such a good ramp for your hand. So 4 copies. 4 copies of Wings of Revolt. This card is also very important because it has the counter ability. It is usable during your turn and your opponent's turn. You may only cast a card if you have Missing Knight on the field. Draw 1 card, then choose one of the following abilities. First ability, for this turn, all Missing Knight on the field gains by 6k attack power. So it's really good because 1 card instantly unlocks the double attack. And basically it gives all your Missing Knights plus 9k, which is huge. You can run over a Tora easily with this deck. Secondly is counter, so you can use it during opponent's turn. For this turn, all Missing Knight on your field gains by 6k defense. Okay, one cool thing about this deck is, if you cast this card during your opponent's turn, it basically gives your Sing additional 9k. So it's basically a 15k defense tanker. So that's pretty much tankier than Tora. Really powerful card. And also, it gives you a draw 1, so you're basically not losing any advantage when you're casting this card. And you'll be able to power up your monsters, which is a great card. And it's never dead because it's counterable during your opponent's turn and your turn. And yeah, making a Sing 15k defense in 1 turn is no joke. So this is a really powerful card. Now, 4 copies of Deep Blaze Singularity. Is basically our negate. So when your opponent attacks, you can pay 1 gauge, nullify attack, and you have a Missing Knight on your field. For this turn, all cards on your opponent's field gets minus 3k attack power. In addition, since Sing's on the field, he'll gain plus 3k defense, which means your opponent will be dropping attack while you're gaining huge defense, becoming a 9k tank while your opponent dropping power. So it's pretty much guaranteed that your opponent won't be able to run over Sync just with this 1 negate card. Awesome. 4 copies of Flame Quartet. Flame Quartet is one of my favorite spells because it's so reusable. This card ensures that you'll always have fire spells to cast. Its ability, if you have a Missing Knight on your field, you can charge 2 gauge and gain 2 life. You can only cast this card once per turn, but one of his most interesting skills is second ability. At the start of your main phase, if this card's in your drop zone, you may drop a hand card. If you do, put this card from the drop zone into your hand. So cards like the Extra Guitar or Sing Your Search Out can always be dropped so that you have a guaranteed fire spell to power up with Sync. Basically, you always want to see this in your drop zone, and gaining 2 gauge and 2 life is really awesome. Now we play 3 copies of Revolution of Red. This card is very interesting. It has a ludicrous cast cost of 5 gauge, however, the gauge cost is reduced for each different fire attribute in your drop zone. All of our spells and monsters are fire attribute, so there are so many times where I cast this card for free. Its ability is destroy up to 2 cards of opponent's field. Really good because not only that, your Sing will be at 9k defense and you'll leave your opponent with a broken board. Even though it needs a little bit of setup, it's still a very powerful card. Now for the items, to play 3 copies of Magic Guitar Kinari. This card can attack even if you have a Missing Knight on your center. If this card's power is 7k or greater, it gains plus 1 crit and its attacks cannot be nullified when attacking alone. It's really powerful because with Sync, you give it double attack. So most importantly, you want to have Sync power it up at least once so they gain the extra crit and the anti-nullify ability, which wins you games. So this pretty much is a combo based deck, which is really fun to play. I really enjoy playing combo based decks. So I hope you guys enjoy my deck profile on the Magic World Mystic Knights deck. If you'd like to see more awesome Buddyfight deck profiles, be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. So peace out and love you guys. Rawr.